Welcome to this video. Today I want to talk about the main foods that could be triggers of your IBS symptoms. My name is Suzanne Perezzini and I'm the author of 2 low FODMAP cookbooks and the creator of 2 low FODMAP coaching programs. Right, we know now that the FODMAPs in foods can cause symptoms of IBS. And the FODMAPs are the short chain carbohydrates. And we have to avoid the high FODMAP foods. There are 4 main groups, and it's very unusual for somebody to have a problem with all of the groups. So you could possibly have one group as a main trigger. For example, fructose is my main trigger. Lactose, I don't have a problem with at all. And the other 2 groups, I can eat a certain amount before I get symptoms. So we're all individual, and that's what you have to find out through doing the elimination diet and then the reintroduction diet. So let's look at these groups. The fructose group, the main things, and I'm not saying this is everything, but the main things to stay away from are apples and pears, watermelon and cherries. Now you also have to stay away from honey and agave syrup because the content of the fructose in honey is higher than the content of the glucose. That creates a problem for us. Whereas the table sugar, which has 50% glucose, 50% fructose, is not such a problem. We can't eat too much of it, but we can have it in small amounts. Right, let's move on to lactose. That's another of the FODMAP groups. So you can have lactose-free milk and yogurt, and you can also have the hard, mature cheeses that have lost much of their lactose in the processing. And also there are several soft cheeses that have lost the lactose in the water, in the liquid, when they're processed, like cottage cheese, ricotta, mozzarella. But the other dairy foods, and this includes cows, goats, and sheep as well, they are not allowed on the low FODMAP diet and will cause you symptoms. So go for the low lactose or lactose-free foods. Right, the next group are polyols, which is broken down into sorbitol and mannitol. And the foods that you have to stay away from for the sorbitol are the stone fruits, those delicious summer fruits. They all have high sorbitol, unfortunately. Again, it depends if that's one of your triggers. The other fruits that have sorbitol are apples and pears. So apples and pears have both the fructose and the sorbitol. In fact, many of the foods have more than one group in them. All right, the other one is mannitol. So stay away from cauliflower, mushrooms, too much sweet potato. You can have half a cup of sweet potato, and that's fine, but at a full cup, it's got too many FODMAPs in there for us. So just limit your sweet potato. Now, just while I think about it, the other one for sorbitol is avocado, which actually is considered a fruit, and that's too high. You can have a tiny amount of it before it becomes too high. Right, the last group to look at is the oligosaccharides, which again are broken into 2 groups, the fructans and the galacto-oligosaccharides. Now, the galacto-oligosaccharides are legumes and pulses. Now, everybody in the population has a problem with those. In fact, it's well known that they create gas. But for those of us with IBS, this becomes a major problem, so we do have to stay away from them. Now, there are some nuts that also have the galacto-oligosaccharides and that we can't eat. They are cashews and pistachio. As far as I'm concerned, they are the nicest nuts, but we can't touch them. And also just beware that almonds after 10 becomes high also in galacto-oligosaccharides. And the last subgroup is the fructans, and you have to avoid wheat, barley and rye. And also in the vegetable field, stay away from onions and garlic, and also the white part of leeks, the white part of spring onions. Those are your main vegetables to stay away from for the fructans. Right, now apart from the FODMAPs, there are a few other triggers that most of you probably already know about, and that is if you have too much fat or too much fiber, alcohol, and caffeine. So it's not just about the FODMAPs. While you're doing the elimination diet and the reintroduction diet, keep those 4 things in mind as well as you go through it. And hopefully by the end of it all, you will have the perfect final diet for you and your own individual situation and relationship with IBS. We are all different, and your diet will look different from mine, which will look different from your neighbor with IBS. Good luck with working it all out. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.